Happy opening day! So this is now the third video I have in the works. One was taking a while, so I started work on another, and now I'm putting this video together. I promise I have a life. But hey, the Royals are good again. They just got Mark Canha. He can still hit against lefties, and he can take walks. The Royals prioritizing walks. I'm not used to this. I mean, hey, I love it. I brought it up in a prior video on Kevin Biggio, but between them two and Jonathan India, the Royals now value walks more than ever. I'm not here to talk about that though. I'm here to talk about opening day starting pitchers. Now, the decision for the Royals this year seemed simple, but two names made a great case: Seth Lugo and Cole Ragans. Lugo finished second in the Cy Young vote, while Ragans, the 2024 opening day starter, finished fourth. There was not a wrong decision, but Cole Ragans made too much sense. Now, this is not the first time the Royals had some debating to do with their opening day starter. To start this story, we flash back to the 2003 season during spring training. The Royals had just lost 100 games for the first time in franchise history. Tony Peña, in his first full season in charge of the Royals, had a difficult decision to make regarding who got the start on opening day. Paul Byrd, the best starting pitcher of the 2002 team, left for the Braves in free agency. Jeff Suppan, a Royal for the prior 4 seasons, signed with the Pirates. The rotation was filled with young, scrappy guys looking for a chance, plus Daryl May, a veteran that kinda struggled the prior year, but was solid in Japan before that. He made sense at the top of the rotation, however, he was not ready by opening day, so the next best option was to go with a hot hand. Who pitched the best during spring training? Well, two pitchers stood out, Runelvys Hernandez and Jeremy Affeldt. Neither were massive nationally ranked prospects, both were previously top 15 in the Royal system, but nothing special. Both made their debut during the 2002 season. They only tossed about 75 innings each, but they were fine over those innings. Peña thought he had 2 future aces on his staff. He could not make up his mind, he felt both were deserving. After some thinking, he had a genius idea to make both pitchers feel good, and for a channel first, I have obtained video of this decision. Okay, guess I need to make this decision. Where are they? Where's the locker room? Here we go. Oh, hey, Buck. Jeremy, Runelvys, come with me to my office. So you're both great young pitchers with a bright future in this sport. You both equally deserve this role for opening day, and quite frankly, I cannot decide. So instead of me deciding for myself, I'm gonna let a random coin decide. So where's my flipping coins? Where are they? Where are they? Hi, bobbleheads. These are... Nope, those are my parking coins. Here's my flipping coins. Here we go. Shiny coin, shiny coin, shiny coin. Where? Just... Is that shiny enough? No, that's dull. Here's a shiny coin. Pretty. Okay. Jeremy, you got the call. Where are you calling? So, here we go. It is tails. Congratulations, Runelvys. You are started opening day. Hold on, neither of you are my kid.
You are a piece of work. Joe, take it away from HUD, please.
I'll admit, I thought about printing out faces to tape over, but printer ink is not cheap, almost as expensive as eggs are nowadays. Tony Peña told both pitchers they were equally worthy of the honor, and, with both President Dan Glass and General Manager Albert Baird present, he used a coin to break the tie. Affeldt called heads, and the coin landed tails side up. Hernandez deferred to the second half with Affeldt. Wait, wrong sport. Seen too many coin flips in like that recently. Back on topic, Peña would name Runelvys Hernandez the opening day starter, with Jeremy Affeldt following him in the rotation. Hernandez said of the decision, "I take it with my heart. I competed for that. I feel happy." Now, before you criticize him, I can probably find competitive coin flipping on ESPN 8 The Ocho. I'm sure he earned it. Albert Baird, then the general manager of the Royals, was less than thrilled. When Peña first told him of the genius idea, he told him he couldn't do that. Baird later explained in an interview that Peña convinced him that the psychology behind it was valid. He said, "Listen, we're dealing with 2 young pitchers, 2 guys who really want to start on opening day, and who are both deserving. Let's make them both feel good." It seems like Baird came around to it, later saying, "I think it left both feeling positive about themselves and created some confidence going into the season." As for the game itself, as of this moment, it remains the only opening day in Royals history where the pitching staff combined to shut out their opponents. Seriously, Hernandez went 6 innings and only gave up 2 hits against a solid White Sox lineup, outpitching Mark Burley. He only tossed 77 pitches. He possibly could have gone deeper. Jason Grimsley took it to the 9th inning, where Mike McDougal would get his first save in his only All-Star campaign. Brandon Berger made this great catch. 6 of the team's 7 hits were from the bottom 4 of the order. It was a promising start to the year. This really should have backfired, but it never did. The Royals won their first 9 games of the season, the first time since the 1990 Reds that feat had occurred. What made this even more impressive was the fact that Carlos Beltran was hurt this entire time. He would not make it on the field until April 18th, the 15th game of the season. The Royals would finish 83-79, their first winning season in a decade. Unfortunately, this team would crash down to earth the following season. They would lose 104 games, and Tony Peña would be fired after an 8-25 start to the 2005 season. Back to 2003, Darryl May, whom I briefly mentioned earlier, would by far be the best pitcher on the staff, being worth 5.9 WAR over 210 innings. Jeremy Affeldt, despite losing the coin flip, would be second on the team in WAR with 3.2. He was actually the only other pitcher to toss over 100 innings. He was fine, but blister issues would send him to the bullpen. His time with the Royals is honestly a footnote, as the bulk of his fame and success would come with the even-year San Francisco Giants. Both May and Affeldt deserve their own video. I'll save the details for another time. As for Runelvys Hernandez, he would struggle with injuries and would later require Tommy John surgery, missing part of 2003 and the entire 2004 season. His time in Kansas City was interesting, to say the least. After he returned from Tommy John, he was never the pitcher he was before the injury. Not that he was anything special before. He became too much of a headache in the clubhouse, and by 2006 he was off the roster for good. I'm not saying every manager should determine their opening day starting pitcher by coin flip, but this one time, it worked, and the game itself was a sign of what was to come for the 2003 season. Maybe they should have kept it up for the next few seasons. So this was just a quickie for opening day. I have a couple other videos in the works. If you enjoyed this and want to see more, then like and subscribe. In my last video, I spent 16 minutes talking about Kyle Davies. Yeah, if a 16-minute video on Kyle Davies is your thing, then this is the channel for you. If you prefer your Royal starting pitchers to be all-stars, then you're in luck. I have a Mark Redmond video as well. Feel free to check that out. Until next time.
We welcome you into Kauffman Stadium, along with Royals Hall of Fame pitcher Paul Splittorff. I'm Bob Davis. Great win for the Royals last night. First game for Buddy Bell, and certainly one of the ingredients was the terrific defensive play.
You remember the Royals got off to that real slow start. Their defense was the worst in the American League. They were making errors every night. And then